Hello and welcome to Bottoms Down Chair Yoga for Everyone. I'm Carol and I'm so glad you've joined us today. We are coming to you from our YouTube channel, Bottoms Down Chair Yoga. So glad you've joined us today. Now, if you haven't already clicked on that red subscribe button, if you would do that, we would really appreciate it. It helps us out. Plus, for you just get notified when a new video is uploaded to our channel. All right, we're going to continue working into our hips today. We hold a lot of stress in those hips, and so this is just a way for us to open them and to stretch into those hips. We will start seated, and we'll come to standing and do just a couple of poses standing and then come back to seated. And just remember, if you want to stay seated the whole time, that is just fine. All right, let's get started. So we're going to come forward in our chair. We're not leaning back. We're going to go ahead and take our feet and just ground them to the earth. So we think about having those 4 pressure points in both feet nice and firmly connected to the earth. Next, we're going to think about those sits bones. So we have those pointy bones that we sit on. Make sure that you can feel both of them and they're equally weighted, or your weight is equal on both of those sits bones. Next, we're going to think about pulling that belly button in towards the spine. We're going to lift that heart up, lower the shoulders out of the ears, place our hands lightly on our thighs, close your eyes, and breathe. Drawing your attention inward towards your heart center and trying to just let go of everything outside of the room. Begin to notice your breath, that natural inhalation and exhalation. And begin to deepen that breath, inhaling more deeply, exhaling more completely. Move into your belly breath, inhaling, extending the belly, exhaling, pulling the belly button to your spine. Do that a few times at your own pace. Bring your hands to your heart. Set your intention for today's practice. One more breath. Bring your hands back down to your thighs. Open your eyes. Drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. And drop your chin towards your chest. Left ear to left shoulder. And chin to chest. Go ahead and look out. And look over your right shoulder. Look center. And look over that other shoulder. Go ahead and look center, roll your shoulders. And just feel the tension beginning to release. Go ahead and reverse that. And release it. Very good. All right, are we ready to get started? Okay, we're going to take our right knee and we're going to open it nice and wide. Let's go ahead and do a half Lord of the Fishes. We're going to reach around, grab that chair, lift and twist. So we're feeling that stretch in the center of the body. Go ahead and release it. And let's do that again. Bring it around, lift and twist, and breathe. All right, very good. Let this knee fall down towards the floor And we're going to move into a seated crescent lunge. So this knee is straight down, all right? That is a great version where heart is lifted. We're looking over this front knee. Now, if you want a little bit more, I'm going to take this leg and I'm going to press it back behind me, and I'm going to lift my heart, and here I am, into more crescent lunge. The other's a crescent lunge as well. This one, all I'm doing is I'm trying to press the back of my kneecap up towards the ceiling. My heart is lifted, and I'm breathing, and I'm breathing. One more breath. Go ahead and release that, and let's do it one more time. Here we go. Up we go. Feeling that hip flexor stretching, quadricep is stretching, extending, and one more breath. Let's release. Go ahead and face forward. Okay, so that same leg we were just working, we're going to extend it out in front of us. We're going to lift our heart and let our heart fall forward into a seated pyramid pose. We're actually going to be doing a standing pyramid pose here in a little bit. That's going to be fun, right? Let's extend and let that heart fall forward. All right, we're going to add on. So the arm of the opposite of the leg that's extended is the one that's going to come up. We're going to come out towards the wall in front of us. Let that heart fall down. The hand comes to the outside of the extended leg. We're going to come up. We're going to inhale. And we're going to exhale as we extend and lean into that pyramid pose. We're going to inhale, extend that arm up. Belly is tight. Keep that back flat, and we're moving into that pyramid pose with a little twist and release it. All right, same leg. We're going to do a little external rotation. We're going to bring that knee in and squeeze it, and then we're going to externally rotate. So if you were with us in the last class, you're familiar with this. Flex that foot, extend, put that foot on the floor. Now, toes come to the ceiling, and we're going to bring that knee into the chest and squeeze it. All right? Let's externally rotate, flex the foot, press through, place that foot on the floor, toes to the ceiling, bring the knee in and squeeze. One more time. Externally rotate, flex the foot, extend that leg long, place it on the floor. Those toes are at an angle. Now the toes come to the ceiling. Let's bring that knee in and squeeze it and release. Okay, let's do the other side. So let's open up nice and wide to start with. We're going to bring that arm across our body, grab the chair, lift and twist. All right, let's release that and do it again. Come across your body, grab the chair, extend the spine long, look over the back of your chair and breathe into that stretch and release it. Okay, let's move into crescent lunge. So I'm going to let that knee fall down first. So here is a version. I'm looking over my front knee. My heart is lifted and I am feeling a pretty good stretch into that quadricep muscle, that big front thigh muscle. All right. So what I want us to do is get a little bit more into the hip flexor. So if you'll just push your foot back behind you, continue to lift that heart up, you're really going to feel it. You feel that? Yeah. So we're not only now into that thigh, that quadricep muscle, but we're getting into that hip flexor as well. And let's release it and do that one more time. So the hip flexor is one of those muscles that really shortens as we sit a lot. It just gets shorter and shorter. So it's just a really nice thing, a good idea to stretch into that hip flexor as much as we can. All right, let's release it. And we're going to now extend the same leg that we were just working. We're going to move into that pyramid pose, all right? So we're going to start by extending the spine, letting that heart fall forward, keeping the back flat. All right, let's come up and we're going to do that again. Let's inhale in here and exhale as you let that heart fall forward. And come up. Bring that knee into the chest and squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. You feel that? All right. Now, oh, you know what? Extend that leg long. My mistake. Let's take that opposite arm up. I forgot I wanted to do this additional part into pyramid pose, right? We're going to inhale, extend, and exhale, keeping the back flat. Let that arm come down to the outer edge of that leg. Inhale, up we come. Exhale, let's extend out and down. Keep the legs straight, keep the back flat. Up we go. Inhale. Let's do that again. Down we go to the outer edge of that leg. You're feeling the stretch. One more breath and come up. Now let's bring that knee into the chest. Good. All right. Externally rotate that leg. Flex the foot. Press. Put that foot on the floor. Bring those toes to the ceiling. Let's do that again. Bring it in and squeeze. Externally rotate. Flex that foot. Press through the heel. Press, press, press. Put that leg on the floor. Toes to the ceiling. We're going to do that again. Bring that knee in. Rotate. Flex. Press. Put it down. Bring those toes to the ceiling. Let's bring one more time, just a squeeze here. And release. Very good. All right, how are you feeling? Pretty good? Okay. So we're going to heel toe our feet wide. We're going to move into that straddled forward fold. And then we're going to move into garland pose, okay? So we're going to have our hands on our thighs, making sure your knees are tracking to your toes. So paying attention, really close attention to making sure the knees are not folded in, okay? So if they're folded in, just go ahead and heel toe your feet in a little bit so that the knees are going to track right at those toes. Either is fine. It's fine. But what I don't want, I don't care how wide your knees are is what I'm trying to say, but I do care if they aren't tracking to the toes. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to place our hands on our thighs and we're going to let our heart fall forward, just keeping the back flat and just come to a 90-degree angle. So our chest is parallel to the floor. You should feel a pretty nice little stretch in the inner thighs. Tuck your chin and roll up to a seated position. Okay, checking in. How do you feel? We're going to do that again. We're going to inhale here, extend the spine long, belly to spine. Lift and hinge forward, keeping the back flat. You got it? All right, now tuck the chin and roll it up. Let's do that one more time. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale here. Exhale, roll it up. Okay. Now we're going to move into garland pose, a malasana pose. So what we're doing is we're going to continue. We're going to let that heart fall again. This time we're going to bring our arms on the inside of those legs. Palms are pressing together. So this is a very active pose. If you saw me, you'd be going, whatever, I don't really see what she's doing. What I'm doing is I'm pressing my legs in and I'm pressing my arms out. Okay, so it is super active. Your upper body is really working. You're squeezing those thighs in towards one another. You're pressing away with your arms. You're pressing, you're pressing, you're pressing. One more breath. Release it and come up to a seated position. All right. Scoot back into your chair or not. If that doesn't work for you, it's okay. You can stay at the edge. But if you're with me, I'm towards the back of my chair. I'm straddling, right? I'm going to grab my chair here and I'm going to let my heart fall forward. So another version of seated forward fold. If you don't like this version, go back to the other version, right? Tuck your chin and come up. And we're going to do that again. Extend the spine long. There's your inhale. Exhale as you come forward. Inhale here. Exhale and roll it up. Okay. If you're feeling all right and you want to add on, remember, in my class, you never have to add on. But if you want to add on, here's where we're going with this. We're going to inhale. We're going to exhale, come forward. All right. Now, I'm going to let one hand fall to the floor. And I'm going to let the other hand fall to the floor. And I'm going to let my heart fall a little deeper. Let my head just hang. And here we are in a full straddle forward fold in the chair. One more breath, and we're going to roll it up nice and slow. And checking in. Ha! You know the drill by now, right? If you're dizzy, if that's not working for your back, if it doesn't feel good, then you're not going to do it. You can stay here, or you can be moved up to the front of your chair and not straddle it. We're going to do that one more time. Okay, are we ready? Lift and hinge forward. Don't worry about the breath. Just breathe your natural breath. All right? Inhale. If you want to do that, then the exhale would be whenever you really deepen that stretch. So I've got one hand on the floor. I've got the other hand on the floor. And I'm letting my head fall. And I'm going to roll it up nice and slow. Okay. How does everybody feel? Okay, so if you were with us last class, we did a version of Pigeon. We're going to do 2 more versions of Pigeon, actually 3. So the first version we did last week where we, I'm going to move my chair up just a little bit. Okay, so we're going to take this leg and we're going to make our shin parallel to the chair, okay? All right. Now, the other leg is going to push back behind us. All right, and I'm lifting, you want to kind of lift yourself up. So I'm not like just totally flat into the chair. I'm feeling that I've got a lot of lift happening in my chair, okay? Does that make sense? So I'm not just like sinking down into it. I'm really using all my core muscles and I'm lifting myself sort of up and out of that chair. Okay, so my back leg is back behind. Remember, you can leave that knee bent if that works better for you. That's fine. Or you can press that foot back behind you. Okay, I think I will show you from the side just one more time. I feel like it's kind of hard to see what my leg is doing back behind. Right, so my foot is back behind. You see? Got that? Or it can be bent. Either is fine. All right. Hang with me, hang with me, hang with me. Here we go. We're going to take a deep breath in. We're going to extend our spine nice and long, way up to the ceiling. All right. There's your exhale. Let's do that one more time. Inhale and exhale. We're going to let that heart fall forward. We're going to let that heart fall forward. And maybe it's on your chair, right? Maybe you've got some ladder that you can hold on to. Or maybe you're coming down the legs of your chair. Or maybe your hands are on the floor. So one of the things that you've got to remember, and see, I just made a couple of adjustments because I realized that my hips had kind of come out of alignment. You want those hips forward. We're breathing into it. Okay, now we're going to come up and release it. Ooh, I don't know about you, but that is quite the stretch. So that is pigeon pose in the chair. 100% mimics what we do on the mat. It really does. Okay, let's do the other side. So we're coming into it. You want to get this leg on the chair first. So my shin is kind of as parallel to the front of the chair as works. That's not a big deal. So don't worry about that. I mean, that's ultimately kind of the idea and the challenge, but it's not a big deal if your leg does not do that. It's okay. So now we're going to bring this back leg back behind, right? Let's go ahead and lift that heart first and really get into the front edge of that hip. Now, the other thing I will tell you is this glute back here, often you just kind of are gripping it. If you can kind of try to release this whole leg, this whole side of the body, actually everything needs to kind of be relaxed. I know that you're using your core a lot, but trying not to have death grips, especially in your glutes, will let you release into this pose a little bit better, okay? All right, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to let our heart fall forward. This would be your exhale. Anytime we lean in, you know, like we would inhale here and then we would exhale as we lean into this stretch. Sometimes that helps, right? Because we're deepening our stretch and we're coming down to the floor. So where are you feeling it? The bent knee hip. The glute of the bent knee is where you're feeling it now. Make sure those hips are square. Make sure that you're not, don't have a death grip on the glute is what I try to call it. We're breathing into it. All right, are we ready? Okay, we're going to come up. Here we go. Pressing up, pressing up, pressing up. Oh my goodness. And release it. How does that feel? So sometimes people talk about, because we do this is a pose that we'll do in our mat classes, people will talk about it bugging their knee. So if that bothers your knee, then don't do it, right? You can just keep doing this, and it's just fine. Or this, either is fine. Okay, let's come to standing. So what I want you to do is face your chair. You're on the right side of your chair, and you're going to face it, okay? So the leg next to the back of the chair is the foot that's going to go under the chair. But don't worry, you know, I know sometimes we bend that front knee. Well, we're not bending it today, so you don't really have to worry about making sure of where the position is, okay? We're going to take a step back with that other foot, and it's going to be at that 45-degree angle, and our hips are facing over the chair. So the hips are not at an angle. The hips are facing forward. Our front leg is straight, okay? We're going to extend the spine long, and I want everybody, if you would put your left hand into the hip crease where that left hip and hip crease is, I want you to put that hand right there, and I want you to think about consciously pulling that back. So as we come forward, I want you to think about pulling that hip back. So sometimes having that hand right in that crease makes you think about it. Because what happens, and now you can put that hand down, what happens is because this hamstring is tight, we tend to want to favor it, and we just kind of turn those hips a little bit. And I want you to keep that hip back. Think about that hip crease. Back it is. Now, your hands are in the chair. If you have availability and want a little bit more, you're just simply going to bend your elbows and let that heart fall forward. And there is your additional stretch into your pyramid pose. We're holding it, we're breathing. We're holding it and we're breathing. And maybe your heart can fall a little bit further, right? I realize that mine is, with time, this muscle is stretching a little bit and my heart is able to fall a little bit further. All right, everybody come up to standing. Okay. Now we're going to do a standing pigeon. So the leg, now our weight is going to be in the other leg, okay? So it's the leg that's facing out, not the one next to the back of the chair. This knee is soft, okay? Not super bent. That's not the idea, but I want it to be soft so you're not locking that knee out. Now, I'm going to cross this ankle above that knee. So I don't want it on the knee, but above the knee. And all I'm doing is just hanging out here, and there is your standing pigeon. And this may be all you need. All right? I get it. But if you want a little bit more, the key to this one, to getting more, is shooting your hips back and letting your heart fall. So it's not bending the knee more. That's not how you're going to get deeper into this pose. Shoot your hips back and let your heart fall. And now you're going to feel this. So you're going to feel the hip of the bent knee, right? That's the side we're stretching. This leg is just supporting us. This is the leg that's stretching. We're breathing. I know. One more breath. Woo! And come up. And step out of it and move a little bit. Ah, how's that feel? I'm going to get some water. I don't know about you. All right. We're going to move to the other side. So again, it's the leg next to the back of the chair is the one that's going to go under, okay? The other leg steps back. You've got that 45-degree angle. Hips are forward. Front leg is straight, okay? Again, I encourage you to take this hand, just put your thumb right in that hip crease. Just put your thumb right there in that hip crease. All right? So we extend the spine long and pull back and let your heart fall forward. So all that pulling back with this other hand, all it's doing is just cueing your brain to bring that hip back. All right, let's go ahead and lift up and do that again. So if you want to put that hand there to pull that hip back, that's fine. This front leg is straight. Hips are forward. Bend your elbows. Let your heart fall and feel that stretch into the front leg. There's your standing pyramid pose. Yeah. Parsvakonasana. All right, come up. And we're going to do that one more time. Extend the spine long. Let that heart fall forward. Keeping that front leg straight. Letting that heart fall down. And come up. Okay. Now we're going to move into pigeon pose on this side. So again, weight is into the leg that's not next to the back of the chair. So it's the other leg now. Weight is here. Knee is soft, okay? We're going to bring up this leg to cross. If you can think of it, flexing that foot, you're going to get a little more stretch, but it's not a huge deal. But if you do think of it, keeping that foot flexed is helpful. All right, remember, hips are back, right? We're shooting our hips back. We're not bending this knee. That's not how we're getting into it deeper. We're shooting our hips back and letting our heart fall. Oh, yeah. So the hip and glute of the knee that's bent, that's the side we're stretching right now. Breathe into it. Breathe into it. One more breath and come up and have a seat. How'd you do, right? That's a pretty intense pigeon pose. I get it. All right. Last thing, we are going to just do a seated pigeon. I know we've done a lot, but it just feels good. And now you're like, whew, okay, this one's a breeze, right? Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and extend our spine long. Let our heart fall forward, feeling that stretch. Go ahead and rock your baby. And let's do that again. I know I do this one like every class, but I just feel like we generally, as a population, just in general, we can use hip openings all the time. Rock your baby. And do that again. All right, let's do the other side. And remember, if you don't like ankle to knee, you can have ankle to ankle. It's just fine. Just do the same thing. Leaning forward, you're going to get the stretch into that hip. Lift up and rock our baby. And we're going to do that again. Extend and hinge. All right. Rock your baby. And last time. All right, just breathing, relaxing, trying to let everything go, right? We're not holding those muscles tight. We're relaxing them, releasing them. All right, very, very good. You should feel a little bit of nice opening through those hips right now. Just try to relax. You can go ahead and lean back in your chair. Let's take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, close your eyes. Do that one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Good things take time. Instant gratification might feel good for a moment, yet it cannot compare in value or endurance to the good things you can build over time. The achievements you'll treasure most are the ones that are the longest in coming. They're the ones into which you put the most of who you are. There simply are no substitutes for prolonged effort, commitment, and patience. And there certainly are no substitutes for the valuable things they will bring into your life. Perhaps it seems shrewd to take all you can from life as soon as you can. The far wiser approach, however, is to give to life as much and as often as possible. When you give, what you give is what ends up lasting the longest. What you give will build value and fulfillment far into the future. Have patience and know that some of the greatest treasures in life take a long time to fully arrive. That gives you the time and the opportunity to put the best of yourself into them. Drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Extend your left arm long. Flip your palm to the ceiling. And release it. Drop your chin towards your chest. And release it. Drop your left ear towards your left shoulder. Extend that right arm out. Flip your palm to the ceiling. And release it. Bring your hands to your heart. Honoring one another, we say, Namaste. Thank you so much for joining. And just know that if you can, click on that red subscribe button in our YouTube Bottoms Down channel. We appreciate it. And I will see you next time.